Part 1. Stagira and Medical. Thinking Seeds from Nicomachus Family Tradition. History of Western philosophy remembers great thinkers through abstract theories and distant metaphysical concepts about gods or immortal souls, but with Aristotle everything began with observations, naked and precise, vivid about life. To understand why Aristotle became teacher of wise, we must go back year 384 before Common Era, in small town named Stagira, northern Greece region. This was not just his birthplace, but a borderland between Athens culture and Macedonia kingdom. Stagira placed first foundation bricks for a mindset different from idealism. Aristotle was born in a family where medical breath and experimental science soaked every lifestyle, every dinner story. His father Nicomachus, not just doctor, but royal physician, close personal friend, King Amyntas III of Macedonia dynasty. This is detail, very expensive and very decisive because it explains why Aristotle since first breath did not learn world through vague rumors or blurry myths, but learned world through real eyes of scientist. Aristotle name in ancient Greek means best purpose as a symbolic meaning. It seems that since giving name, parents sent a genius premonition about a life spent for searching ultimate purpose of everything in vast universe, while other children might be fascinated by mythical stories about God's power on Olympus mountain. Aristotle's childhood was linked to palace, Macedonia palace bustle, and father rooms of medicine. Young Aristotle grew among herbal smells, dissection discussions and body operation laws, meticulousness in classifying every herbal medicine, observing patient faces, guessing the causes, desire to know why body works, trained Aristotle to have scientist eyes, objective and realistic, always demanding evidence. He did not learn the world through vague stories. He learned world through muscle structure, blood vessels and living organisms' motion. This realist thinking was most important seed making him later first philosopher in history, daring to claim theory is useless if it cannot explain reality happening right before eyes. But fate gave heavy blow to future thinker when he was only 10 years old. Aristotle suddenly lost both parents in short time. From a son of royal physician, became an orphan, lonely in life. This event was not just pain, but life lesson about the truth of birth, death, harsh natural laws, early loss, forced young Aristotle, looking at world, serious and independent, more than anyone. In that darkness, he found anchor. Uncle named Proxenus. Proxenus adopted him. He was educated and very kind. He recognized genius and endless curiosity. Curiosity of Aristotle about natural world, instead of forcing normal paths. Proxenus created conditions for studying, encouraged him deep into science and early philosophy. Early philosophy works, we can say, early tragedy combined with encouraging environment, created an Aristotle with deep emotions of a person suffering the pain, but also steel in mind, searching for knowledge, finding an order, stability in world, full of separation and loss, preparation in Stagira and Macedonia region. First 17 years was process of accumulating huge energy. He learned reading ancient medical texts of Asclepiad's line, spent time wandering along the coasts, observing and classifying animals and plants, recording natural laws. Macedonia kingdom environment with political plots and power changes also helped him understand humans are not just biological beings, but political entities, complex and governed by desires and social rules. All these contents shaped an Aristotle, strong in body, strong in mind, ready to enter great intellectual stage of Athens. When leaving Stagira to academy of Plato, Aristotle did not a blank piece of white paper. He went with realist thinking system, solidly formed from medical tradition. This medical foundation made him later, though best student of Plato, still had bravery, keeping the stance about objective reality. He understood that true philosophy is not escaping world, finding dreamland, but is great tool for humans, explaining and classifying, mastering real world, where they live. Part 1 is most accurate explanation for the birth of revolution of reality, where knowledge starts from smallest things under our feet, before reaching to great laws of universe. Part 2, 20 years academy and sprout of great ideological differences. In autumn year 367 before Common Era, a young man, 17 years old, with sharp eyes and skeptical mind, carrying medical legacy from Stagira, arrived in Athens, intellectual heart of the Greek world. This was Aristotle, leaving Macedonia land, joining academy school, famous school of the master Plato, not just school, transfer for noble, but great meeting, history human thought, Plato dreaming of eternal ideal skies. Student Aristotle pulls philosophy back down earth, objective reality ground. 20 years stay, from young student to brilliant teacher, absorbing every essence, Greek knowledge spirit, also sharpest critic, questioning core teachings. Plato recognized talent, called him intelligence of school, but silent struggle between two minds. Theory of forms. Plato claimed reality is just blurry. Blurry flawed copies. Perfect eternal patterns. But medical blood. Observation habits Stagira. Made Aristotle felt deep gap. Unacceptable in system. If perfect ideas. Live far away. Separate from earth. How they explain. Growth and decay. Death of organism. Right before eyes. Aristotle built arguments. True knowledge cannot be separate. Idea is form. Linked with matter. Statue needs stone. Stone needs shape. Inseparable bond began. Realistic thinking revolution. Systematizing logic rules. Foundation for math. And modern science. Respect for Plato. Was truly immense. But love truth. Love truth more. Famous immortal saying. I love Plato. But love truth. Truth even more. Not act of betrayal or arrogance but maturation of mind. Seeking objective light. Biggest turning point. Year 347 before Common Era. Plato died age 80 years. Naturally Aristotle deserved leading position. After 2 decades. Tireless work dedication. But council chose Speusippus instead. Plato own nephew. Family line reason. Or fearing change. Aristotle felt disappointed. Academy no longer fits. His exploration desire. Chose brave path. Leaving Athens city. Building knowledge kingdom. Kingdom of his own name. Rejection was lever. Liberating his mind. Plato shadow gone. Leaving academy was. Breaking ideological chains. Seeking broader vision. Not just classroom. Debating abstract ideas. He needed travel. Needed real touch. Diversity of reality. Many different lands. Journey finding truth. Independent research starts. Biology, politics, ethics. Foundation for system. Changing world course. Over 2 millennia. Part 3. Years of wandering. And educational mission. For King Alexander. Leaving Athens year 347. Before Common Era. Aristotle did not feel pessimistic. Or stop his steps after rejection by academy. On the contrary. He saw it as mental liberation. Beginning a journey full of inspiration. Over a decade. Across Greek world. First stop Assos. In Troas region. Welcomed by Hermias. Old friend from the academy. In Assos city. Aristotle was not a student. Under Plato's shadow. He became independent. An independent thinker. Leading small group of philosophers. First field research. In human history. In this land. Biology interest bloomed. Stronger than ever. Spent many hours. Observing marine life. Classifying their traits. Finding growth laws. Of all species. Modern life science. Was born here. Aristotle claimed knowledge. Must come from. Direct observation and. Real experience instead. Instead of theory. Personal life warmed. By deep emotions. Married to Pythias. Niece of Hermias. Marriage gave him. Family stability and. Strong spiritual support. For his research. Pythias was smart. Shared intellectual passion. until she died. Harmony between knowledge and family happiness shaped moral view. Happiness is result of virtuous acts. In loving environment. Moved to Mytilene. On Lesbos Island. Due to politics. Continued biology research. With student Theophrastus. Year 300. 43 before Common Era. King Philip II. Of Macedonia Kingdom. Sent an invitation. To the son of Stagira. To be tutor for Alexander. Future great king. Meeting of destiny. Between greatest mind. And greatest conqueror. Taught 7 years. In Mieza town. Not just poetry. Or history lessons. But logic system. Sharp strategy and vision of state. Governed by reason. Instead of emotions. Prepared political drafts. For King Alexander. Ruler must control personal desires and practice golden mean. For the community. Soul of Alexander was widely opened. Became a king. With military power and great mind. Alexander carried Iliad. Edited by teacher. In his conquests. But relationship grew distant later. When Alexander conquered Asia land. Seeking absolute power. Moving away from moderation and justice. Aristotle understood clearly. Reality of power. And state management. Theory is dead. Without people acting. Missions in Macedonia. Finished completely after Philip died and Alexander became king. Aristotle returned Athens. Year 300. 35 before Common Era. Bringing specimens and real observations and mature thoughts after wandering for decade. Ready to create education revolution at Lyceum School. Part 4. Birth of Lyceum. And walking method. Peripatetic unique way. Year 300. 35 before Common Era. Aristotle returned Athens. Once deeply linked. 20 years academy. Not as student. Not as teacher. Under others' shadow. But as master. With new vision. Support from Alexander. King of Macedonia. Founded his school. Named the Lyceum. Near temple of Apollo Lyceus god. Public area for athletes and soldiers. Choice of place. Reveals his philosophy. Knowledge not kept. Ivory tower hidden. But living entity. Blending with community. Lyceum under guidance. Became first center. Multidisciplinary research center. Human history record. Boundaries between philosophy. Natural science art. Blurred for unity. Practical knowledge system. Special attractive point. Walking teaching method. Greek name Peripatetic. Not sitting fixed. Stuffy classroom chairs. Aristotle often walked with students. Under green trees. Discussing hard problems. Universe and life. Image of master. And his students. Walking together breathing. Debating justice nature. Structure of plants. Eternal symbol for intellectual freedom spirit. Aristotle believed motion of body, stimulates mind clarity. Ideas born naturally, vividly and freely. Never forced answers. Encouraged real observation. Analyzing collected data. Logic conclusions drawn. Walking method was not just teaching, but a lifestyle. Knowledge from interaction. Human to human. Human to nature. Built huge library. Natural specimen collection. First museum model. In the world. Network and support. From Alexander Great. Thousands of samples. From far lands. Macedonia army conquered. Spent many years. Classifying and describing. Small fish habits. Wild forest beasts. Meticulous and patient. Lyceum became laboratory. Huge world laboratory. Evidence-based knowledge. Metaphysical thoughts not separated from science. Cradle of modern science branches. Biology and physics. Meteorology and astronomy. Personal life Athens. Notable changes reflected. Harmony of family. And academic ideal. After Pythias died. Linked with Herpylus. From Stagira hometown. Humble social status. Silent devoted companion. Created peaceful home. Research and teaching. Son named Nicomachus. Memory of father. Love for son. Inspired moral values. Nicomachean ethics book. Not dry textbook. Father heart messages. Teacher heart advice. Valuable happy life. Lyceum education revolution. Knowledge systematized scientifically. Strictly and clearly. Socrates asked questions. Leaving some gaps. Plato built world. Ideal and distant. Aristotle at Lyceum. Established the rules. Principles and definitions. Explaining our life. Taught logic tool. Sharp logic tool. Analyzing every problem. Natural simple phenomena. Complex political structures. Pulled philosophy down. Clouds of ideas. To the earth. Objective reality ground. 4th century before. Before Common Era. Continued previous legacy. Created Reason Era. Humans' believability. Understanding and improving. Improving their world. Through learning experience. Part 5. Ethics and mean. Concept of mean. Art of balance. Building practical happiness. Inside Aristotle system. Ethics is not rigid rule set from the gods, but practical science, aiming for purpose, ultimate human purpose, called eudaimonia happiness. For Aristotle happiness, not fleeting emotion, not just wealth, but soul activity, fitting perfect virtue, during long life. To reach this, Aristotle built mean, delicate mean concept, theory claiming virtues, lie in balance, ideal balance point, between two extremes, excess and deficiency. This is answer, most practical answer, for people searching right behavior, among many temptations, and social conflicts. Virtue is not born within us, but training result, experience and habit, forming stable habit, every single day, through reason light, deep in mean. Aristotle listed virtues, forming strong character, courage and temperance, generosity and justice, and practical wisdom. Courage is balance between cowardly fear and reckless madness. Cowardly person trembles before every challenge, while reckless person rushes into danger without reason calculation. Only courageous person knows when facing, when being cautious, protecting noble purpose. Likewise generosity is distributing wealth reasonably, right in middle, between stingy miser and wasteful person. Aristotle emphasized mean, not fixed formula, for every person, but great flexibility, changing with context, each person ability, and practical reason. Most important thing, not finding average, but training judgment, acting right time, right object and right purpose in colorful real life, breakthrough in ethics, role of habit, and training hexis. We become just by acting justly, become temperate by acting with temperance, become brave by acting with courage. Ethics not theory, to memorize words, but a skill, sharpened by life, like an artist, needs time, patience, mastering the technique. Aristotle believed potential. Everyone has potential. Becoming good person. But potential realizes. If we have enough practical wisdom, adjusting ourselves after every single fall, self-awareness and controlling emotions ability, key for humans, not being swept by instincts, or blind passions, blurring our eyes at deciding moments. Nicomachean ethics work, inspired by love, responsibility for son, Nicomachus himself, living proof showing, Aristotle cared life, real life instead, distant ideal world, advised using reason, foundation for acts. Reason separates us from other species, guiding our path towards the good. In changing world, maintaining the mean is soul stability, fairness in relationships. His moral philosophy does not ask, becoming holy saints or extreme stoics, but good citizens, responsible human beings, finding the joy, improving own character, closeness and reality, made Aristotle ethics, eternal compass for humanity through millennia, helping us understand, living meaningful life, is balanced art, alertness in acts, everyday behavior, reaching true fulfillment. Part 6. Man as animal. Social political animal. Dream of state. Practical state for common interest. If ethics is training of individual, politics for Aristotle is ethics applied to community. Left immortal definition, changing how we view our position. Human by nature, social political animal. Zoon politikon name means each person, not born isolated, like lonely islands, but only develops full potential and reaches true happiness inside community structure. Aristotle analyzed society like natural flow from smallest unit, family oikos home, expanding to village, reaching highest peak, city-state polis. For him polis, not just organization, for security needs, or trading goods, but complete community, self-sufficient community, highest noble purpose, creating good life, virtuous life for all citizens. Revolutionary view placing the state as great teacher, protector of character, ultimate human growth. Different from Plato, designing ideal state inside his imagination. Philosophers as kings, rigid social order. Aristotle approached politics with realist eyes, Expert observer eyes. Did not search. Perfect impossible model. No one follows. Instead he researched, classified and analyzed hundreds of constitutions. Real constitutions then. Extracting governance laws. Most effective laws. Aristotle claimed purpose. Core purpose government. Serving common interest. Instead of serving private interest of individual or group. Divided political forms into two groups. Correct forms like monarchy and aristocracy, and polity democracy, with their variants, corrupt and deviant, tyranny and oligarchy, and extreme democracy. His observation showed fall of state starts from corruption, moral corruption of the rulers, and extreme inequality between social classes, leading internal conflicts, public order collapse. From bitter observations about political reality, Greek world then, Aristotle proposed model, ideal practical model, based on middle class and supreme legal system, stable society when power in hands of people with moderate income. They have less tendency rebel, like the poor, less arrogant and less power abusing, like the rich, applying the mean to state management. Emphasized constitution law must be supreme, ruling every activity. Every citizen has right to participate, managing the state. Through representative model, citizens give power to capable people with virtue, while keeping right. Supervise and criticize. Remove incapable ones. All power abusers. Private gain seekers. Government in eyes of Aristotle. Machine for virtue. Every decision is lit by reason and practical fairness. Aristotle depth showed. Education is task. Most important task. Task of state. Believed for state. To be good. Must train citizens. Being good citizens. Ability using reason. Distinguish good evil. Justice and injustice. Since very young. Joining social life. Is best environment. Training critical thinking. And human kindness. Pulled political philosophy. From distant ideas. Back to reality. Improving our reality. Personal happiness is linked with community. His political knowledge, not just words, became first bricks. Building law foundation. Western civilization systems, through many millennia, taught humanity that politics is not dirty power game, but noble mission, creating living space where humans reach peak virtue, wisdom and happiness. Part 7. Nature of soul and universe structure. Under system view. Great system view of scientist Aristotle. To complete system. Huge consistent system. Aristotle did not stop at ethics or political science. Went deep into fundamental questions about nature of life and universe structure. Inter anima. On the soul. Revolutionary views given. Changing metaphysical views of that era. Different from thinkers before his time. Seeing soul as magic separate entity. Aristotle claimed soul is enteleschi realization. Realization of potential. Living potential in physical living body. sees soul-body as unified whole, cannot be separated, like object shape, and its material, never stand alone, explaining life diversity and hierarchical levels. Inside the universe, Aristotle divided soul, 3 different levels, based on abilities: vegetative, sensitive, rational, systematizing biology strictly, showing meticulous observation for every organism, from plants humans. Deep analysis showed vegetative soul is most basic level, inside every plant, responsible for survival, essential survival functions, nutrition and growth, and reproduction needs. Higher and complex is sensitive soul, inside animal species, giving them sensation, active motion and direct reactions to the environment, maintaining their life in changing world, full of dangers. Highest peak of biological evolution chain is rational soul, special unique gift, only for humans. Rational soul not just for survival or feeling world, gives us reason, brilliant reasonability, logic reasoning and deeply understanding nature of universe, and ourselves. Aristotle believed reason allows independent thinking, perceiving eternal truths, existing outside senses, superficial physical senses, having rational soul, using it effectively. Ultimate noble mission of humans, creating great boundary between humanity and every other species. His great curiosity, not just soul, reached far stars on wide sky. Era of science was very early. No modern tools like the telescope. Aristotle relied on direct real observation and iron logic. Bold statements made about universe structure. Earth is sphere, fixed center position, surrounded by four basic elements: earth, water, air, and the fire. Every element has own natural position, tending return there, if being moved, creating visible order. Divided the universe into 2 parts, different governing laws. Sublunary world below the moon, where things change, born and decay, time and chaos, and superlunary world, above the moon, celestial bodies move, stable circular orbits, eternal and unchanging, thanks to quintessence, ether, 5th element. Though many views, astronomy and physics, proven wrong later by modern science, greatest value left, method of observation, and knowledge system, was scientific work, recognized important law. While celestial bodies move stable orbits, human life is always full changes, deeply depending on choices and acts, and our will. Knowing this difference, advised being alert in decisions, using practical reason, never imposing ideals, absolute rigid ideals, on moving society. Vision of soul and cosmic order became golden thread, connecting fragmented pieces. Experience and idea, solid foundation for natural science and human philosophy, taught us that understanding vast universe is a path, understanding our position and our responsibility in great flow of life. Part 8. Eternal Legacy of Great Aristotle. And Reason Continuation. In Knowledge Journey. Journey of Humanity. Looking back life. Huge intellectual career. We cannot help but marvel. Greatest mind size. Shaping the frame. Western thinking frame. Over 20 centuries. Aristotle not just great philosopher. Deeply learned polymath. First system builder. Humanity ever known. Carried out revolution. Pulling the philosophy from clouds of metaphysical dreams back to earth. Objective reality ground. Comparing Aristotle with two great teachers, Socrates and Plato, we see evolution. Brilliant method evolution. Socrates famous for questioning art for self-examination. Plato dreaming of ideal form world. Hard to touch. In daily reality. Aristotle was person. Defining everything with rules and principles. Sharp definitions for improving life. Not just asking hard challenging questions, but seeking answers based on observation, logic and experiments. Tireless scientific experiments. Most precious legacy. Not just books, logic and biology, physics or politics, but thinking spirit. Spirit of objectivity. Desire to find ultimate causality of everything in universe. First bricks layer. Modern scientific method. Teaching human eyes. Seeing things as they are. Instead of seeing through blurry lens. Prejudice or emotions. Or false illusions. His logic system, especially the syllogism, became standard tool. Standard thinking tool. Every science branch. And law system. Through many millennia. Thanks to Aristotle. Knowledge no longer fragments of feelings. Or blind traditions. Became unified whole. Linked by reason. And real evidence. This system helped. Humans can explain, arrange and improve real world. From healing bodies, governing the society, to natural mysteries. Aristotle influence reached far Greek borders. Every single corner. Human perception through thousands years history. During Middle Ages, his works became only standard textbook. In great universities. Universities of Europe. Ultimate foundation for theologians and thinkers. Building era knowledge. During the Renaissance. And science revolution. Though physics views were replaced later. Observation and classification. He first started. Remains the compass. Lighthouse for scientists. Greatest world scientists. Today in context. Modern society surrounded. Confusing information flows. Algorithm manipulation and uncontrolled impulsive emotions. Aristotle golden mean and practical reason become more precious than ever. Reminds us that true wisdom is not possessing info, superficial huge info, but thorough analysis, looking many angles, keeping the balance, and moral integrity. Ending the journey. Exploring great Aristotle. We realize that his own philosophy is golden thread, harmoniously connecting experience and noble ideas, independent individual and social community and small human beings, and vast universe. His teachings and observations alike. Warm responsible message. Sent to future. Best purpose of human life. Improving ourselves. Through real learning and real experience. We study Aristotle, not as scholars, distant from reality, but arming ourselves with wise mindset and alert mind and kind heart, accepting new ideas without accepting them immediately, if not fitting reason justice. Hope these reflections about great teacher give you motivation, nurturing the integrity, courage and reality in daily life, escaping from darkness of ignorance, touching the light of truth. Journey is hard, but only path leading to perfection, dignity and happiness. True happiness in our life. Thank you listening and joining us. Journey of soul on this quest.